Hello, welcome to the stream. Let's get the water bottle off camera. There we go. That's more like it. Man, why do I feel like my camera is ever so slightly more to the left every single day? There we go. Big ups. Who we got in the chat? I know this is Sissy is here. I know we got Lewis MCFC here. First of all, I want to say big ups to everyone that went to the Man City open training session. I hope that was fun. I hope everyone had a good time. I couldn't be there myself, but it sounds like it would have been a lot of fun, to be fair. I'll even say that I'm a tad jealous of everyone that did go. But big ups to Lewis MCFC with the first. Then this is followed up with yes, and more today. I have a story with the goat, Hugo Viana. Okay. As he was coming out of the toilets in the distance, I saw him and I was like, wow, is that Viana? And I realised it was as he walked past. I smiled at him and he smiled back at me. Good, bro. Man, he'll be trying to sign you next as a City. That's your ticket. That's your ticket to the team. You've done it. One thing I noticed today was a load of crosses into the box. 1 touch and 2 touch. Always in possession. No one taking long on the ball. And yeah, that is the kind of thing that you like to see, to be fair. I think that is pretty cool. Because you saw it a lot last season. Like, we just kind of sit on the ball. Teams would just, they'd be sat back as you'd expect, but we just kind of sit on the ball, knock it about, and then eventually we'd do a bad cross or something like that. Man, I wish I met him in a place where I could have got a photo or asked him about transfer business. Oh man, if you did though, that would have been sick if you did. But hey, somewhat of an interaction with him is cool. To be honest, Connect, I thought that the guy would have his own private toilet, not the public one all the fans use. Yeah, true. To be fair, I would think that as well. You think the players and the club would have their own private toilets and whatnot. But hey, if it led to somewhat of an interaction for you, fair play. But now then, let's bounce over to the Man City news, because we have had some news today. And yesterday. I couldn't stream yesterday, but I have been able to today. So the big news that was revealed yesterday was that Man City have reached an agreement in principle to get Ruben Dias on a brand new contract. Now then, if you ask me, okay, there's been some semi-backlash to this online. I don't think that this is a bad move, to be honest. Now, Ruben Dias, has he dropped off a little bit as of late? Yeah, he's definitely been on a somewhat downwards since the treble. It's not been as bad as, say, Edison's drop off or other players drop off, but while certain other players have gone like that, I think he's just been going a bit more like that. Okay, just a steady decline. He's 28 years old right now. Currently has a contract till 2027, so 2 more years, meaning he would leave the club at the age 30. Now then, for me, Dias is still a very good centre-back. But I also think that we shouldn't be looking to this guy to be our top centre-back all the seasons to come, because last season he missed 19 games. Now, I know that was a bit of an anomaly. That the season before, he went without injury according to this. So, to be fair, this season he could be clean. Brilliant decision. Do people realise when he wasn't in last season, he still goes to levels? Yeah, you can't remember. A Ruben Dias drop-off, he is still brilliant. Just remember, we rushed Ruben Dias back against PSG. Okay? It was 0-0 at half-time. We rushed him back. Second half starts, he's been subbed off. And he's been subbed off. We scored 2 goals early, felt like the perfect start, and then we conceded 2 goals in the next 5 minutes and ended up losing the game 4-2 overall. So when Dias was not in this defense, we are worse. But Ruben Dias, despite drop-offs, is still one of the best centre-backs in the league, in my opinion. And like you said, the worst defeats last season happened without him in this shirt. I think to suggest that he doesn't deserve like an extension, I think it's just a bit meh. But what I will say is that I don't think he should be a guaranteed starter every single week. We should be looking to other players for the future. But it's still such a great option to provide experience to this club. And for the young centre-backs growing up, Vardiol is still young. We'll talk about Ruben Dias, Tarsi Hussein. What happened? Well, everyone loved in December and hailed after the Palace away. I'll get onto that game in a moment. Diaz is still a brilliant defender for me. He's still one of the best centre-backs in the league. Yes, he's dropped off a little bit, but you can argue that Haaland's dropped off a little bit, and he's still arguably the best striker in the world. So when I say a player's dropped off, I don't mean they are bad now and they need to go. When I say a player dropped off, I just mean they're not as good as we have seen them before. Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I'll see if Yana smiled at me today. That guy's the GOAT. Now then, trust me, if this gets worse, if this injury record gets worse, last season was not pretty for Diaz in terms of injuries, then we do need to really be careful. But for all intents and purposes, he's never had super awful injury seasons, and this season, man, Blinkenek, a knock, and he was out for 40 days. That's not a knock. Anyway, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Had this injury period, and for me, I think he can come back stronger from it. And look, for me, you could argue that 23-24, okay, lots of exhaustion. You could argue, he played tons of games that season. He had no injuries, you got to remember. And then all these injuries came. He also got rushed back at periods here because I believe this is when he got injured. This is when he got injured against PSG, and then he was out for a while. And to be fair, after February 17th, he didn't pick up much injury. Okay, it was a big case of rushing him back, in my opinion. October 30th to December, 9 games out. We lost most of them there. Came back for about 19 days, got injured again due to an unknown injury. Then picked up a hip injury here, got rushed back, and was out for longer. People have had enough of it now. We're calling it out now. Shake MC, Stephen MC. Loads of people coming back now because we are sick of previews and everything Connect. Like I said, Connect. People love and enjoy melting down now. It's such a thing. It's such a weird thing, man. Give Phil Foden golden boot. I don't think he'll get the golden boot, but I think Phil Foden will be really good this season. It's such a weird notion. We will find a way to fumble, to crumble over anything. This is the attitude we should have. Hopefully back to his best last year. But this guy can't. Not everyone's Van Dijk. Okay, and I still think Diaz is very good. But can't we just be happy that a brilliant centre back is signing an extension? I don't. Where has this been earned? Everyone was bad last season. Does that mean you want Haaland to go? It's me, FIFA. Oh, big ups, FIFA. Everyone for the most part was bad last season. Does that mean we all want Phil Foden to be sold? We don't want him to get an extension. Does that mean you want Nico Gonzalez out already because, he didn't play many games. He must have been poor. Do we want Ake gone? Do we want Lewis gone? Okay, there's a lot more people that are a bit more on that boat than me. One season and our worst season in a while does not mean that sell everyone and move past all these unks so that we can have a nice young squad and do brilliant stuff. To be fair, top comments are bots on posting ones praising it. If it was up to these people, how many players would we have left? I don't even know. I don't even know. You know, like, because so many people clearly disagree with the Diaz decision. You know, and there's certain players want gone anyway. You know, tons of people want Kova, Gundo, and Bernardo gone, so those three are probably gone. Most of the back line's probably gone. You know, some people definitely want, you know, a lot of people want Grealish gone. Probably there's certain people that probably don't think Doku or Savino are good enough either. You know, we would probably have no more than like 6 players, not including the signings we made. If you are abusing players and just want to be toxic in the fan base and just get out of the fan base, I'm sure you agree. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, like, I understand if you're a little skeptical over the decision. Skepticalness is fine, especially after Diaz just had somewhat of a drop off, okay, and even the season before. For all we know, Diaz keeps dropping off and just becomes a waste of wages. For all we know. But for me, there's like no one. I don't think there's enough to suggest that's happening. You know, like, back him. You know, back the centre back that won Player of the Season. You know, back that centre back. Back that centre back that has had masterclasses for us in the Champions League. You know, back that centre back that last season was the only one who was really locked in other than Vardio. Back him. I know he had bad moments last season. I know the Southampton interview was not the best. But I don't think he deserves all the hate. You know, I don't think any player deserves like actual abuse and hate. You know, you can like say I don't like this decision. Fine, fair enough. But I don't think you can. As in you, this is what I mean about these post-treble fans. O'Reilly's absent from the opening training session and is not fully fit. Let's have a look. Bro, like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. Wanting our own players, okay? Never mind just wanting players in general, but wanting our own players to get ACLs, man. That is nuts. You know, wishing an ACL on anyone is crooked enough. But wishing it on our own guys, like, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, if you want these guys out of the club, I don't blame you. Okay, because their drop off was bad last season. There were some of like the standout players that were not good. But like, hating on them. Remember what they've given to the club. Bernardo has absolutely ran his legs dry for this club. You know, he's all out of gas. Gundo, the treble season. Give Foden a Ballon d'Or. We'll be there. You know, if you've been supporting after the treble, then don't you dare talk about any of our legends like that. Yeah, man, like, these players in their heyday have given everything for us. And just for some fans to look past that and to wish the worst, like one of the worst injuries you can get in football. Genuinely nuts. Hey, big ups Ryan Shirky. Spoke fluent English for an entire interview. The open training session. So the fans is watching. Look at Pep. What a go. Ruben Dias, not Ruben Dias, Vital Hayes, his move to Girona appears to be finalised, by the way. He wasn't present at the training session today, and he will be on a loan deal from Man City to Girona. And apparently, I just read there that there's going to be a clause in it that means if we need him, we can call him back at any time from his loan. I would like him to go to a bigger club. This club was fighting for relegation last season. I don't think he's a relegation La Liga level centre-back. Not for 30 million. We spent so much money on this guy. We should back him a little more in a better team. I know, it's nice to keep him in the circle, but, still. There's Esteval. I did see something from Fabrizio. Yeah. Oh, by the way, thoughts on Sesko seemingly snubbing Newcastle again. He hasn't quite decided yet, but seems to have snubbed them again. So that's crazy, man. Newcastle can't get a hold of anyone, bro. Max Alline is looking to go on loan from Man City. 12 p.m. is still fine, by the way. Awesome. That should still work for me. Max Alline still set to go out on loan by the looks of it. So big ups to him, and it's looking like we want him to sign a new deal at the club. We seem to rate him quite highly. He's 20 years old. He's a defender as well. So good luck to him at Watford. Watford should give him good experience. They're a club that are fighting for promotion from the Championship. Rodri. Man City are set to offer a new contract until 2029. Could become the second best player after Haaland. The decision is up to him. City want to show their trust in Rodri with a new deal almost ready to be offered. And again, this is, you could argue there's some risk. By the way, 10 people tuning in. That's crazy. Big ups. Make sure that everyone likes the stream, by the way. Every like is huge. Now there is an element of risk to this one as well. What if Rodri doesn't get back to his best after the ACL? A very real possibility. It happens to various players, although some players come back stronger. So, again, it is something to consider for Rodri. I'm happy with this, though. I would want to show that trust to him, and I think he'll appreciate that as well. Rodri's a top guy. He seems like such a humble dude as well. He doesn't have any social media or whatnot, and I know he lives quite humbly. But he's an absolute top player, obviously, presented with the Ballon d'Or last season. And, man, if he plays like he did in that one season again, man, he could very well be presented with it again. We should absolutely fight to get this over the line. We seem to be offering him a huge wage, And look, it's either this or he runs his contract down and probably waits for Real Madrid, to be honest. I don't want that, obviously, but that could very well happen unless he's fancying something else. But I don't think that's going to happen either. I don't think Rodri's that type of guy. I'm backing my own guy here. I don't think he's that dude. Now, in terms of Rodri's age, I believe Rodri is 29. Rodri is 29. He'll be 30 in June of next year. He's on a contract right now until 2027, and we seem to want to make that until 2029 to bring him to a 10-year stay at the club. Feels crazy that he's been there 6 years so far. Cannot believe it or not, I saw a City fan saying we should sell Rodri. This one again will complain, and you would never see anyone wanting to sell Haaland in 23-24 season, for example. You would never see anyone say that. You'd never see anyone say something as silly as that. You would never see anyone snub the idea of a Ruben Dias contract extension. Again, though, people want to complain. People are so on edge after last season that they'll find something to complain about. They'll find anything to complain about, even genuinely good club decisions. Imagine beating a guy who's been here 5 years and only just lost his first Premier League 2 months ago. Yeah, Dias, four Premier Leagues in a row. You know, he had a 100% Premier League win record before last season. Just nuts. Truly is insane. Dewsbury Hall, he was never really used at Chelsea. I feel like it's crazy that I'm getting 30 million. Fair play. And this is really the bulk of it. Very much similar stuff that we saw the other day. Let's bounce on over back to City Extra. Hi, now proud to be here. City are yet to get offers of Grealish or Calvin Phillips, man. Phillips! We need that guy gone, bro. Calvin Phillips has got to go. No joke, we're the worst fan base on the worst online fan base. No wonder no one rates our players. Haaland gets dragged into debates with mid-strikers every year. At least online Arsenal fans back their own players. That's what a fan is about. Yeah, like, there is logic to that. You know, Arsenal fans, despite being really annoying, you know, I think Arsenal fans are very annoying. At least they, like, puff their chest out and back their lads. I try to be like that, but, you know, Pep could send out the stinkiest starting 11 of all time, and I could cry when I saw it, but I would still back all those guys that walk out onto the field. I would still back it. I would still want all of them to play to their absolute best and to get the win. You know, because that, I don't know, I feel that's what it means to be a fan. You know, to always back your guys, even if you don't like who's playing, even if you don't think the player who's playing is good enough. Just get it done, in my opinion. Roma seem to really be pushing for a 33 million buyout option here. Do not give them a 33 million buyout option. I'm sorry. Echeverri is like one of the, in my opinion, one of like the best talents we have at the club. No way do we give them a 30 million buy option. Now, I know we have a 40 million buyback, you know, which is nice. You know, it's only a little bit more than what they're paying. So if he absolutely cooks, we can just be like, okay, thank you. But no. You know, you see how confident Roma are in the talent of Echeverri there, of signing for 33 mil. You know, they are so. I know this is core sports, not exactly Fabrizio or whatnot, but just assuming this is true, they clearly know the caliber of player that Echeverri is and the potential he has and how much he can help them. There's no way we should be looking to let this happen. You know, send them on loan there, but do not give them the chance to have him permanently. Congratulations to Bunny Shaw. That's his new number 9. I know she absolutely bangs goals in for us. Miedema, not gonna lie, I don't really know her. But our new number 10, so she's got to be solid. Let's keep going down. Community Shield win on this day, years ago. What's the score in this game? Oh, blinking heck. Seems to have just been 2-0, maybe a third here. No, not quite. Caballero. Forgot about him. Rodri's priority would be Man City if an offer from Real Madrid arrived, which is only a good sign in my opinion. You know, again, this guy, you know, the move to Real Madrid is always going to be attractive, especially to a Spanish player. But, you know, good sign, assuming this is true. Fabrizio Romano and Dazzling Football reported this, so really hoping it is. And Laura Coombs signs a 1-year extension. Apparently, Phil Foden and Rodri are now the priorities in terms of contract extensions for Man City. And yeah, that kind of feels like the logical move. They got Haaland pinned down 10 years. Diaz now for 4 more years. Rodri will be similar. Phil Foden, I suspect, will be given until like 2030. Looking forward to tomorrow to pre-record. That's fine, right? So I can go up on him on holiday. Can't wait until we're back, man. I actually can't wait. What about you? And yeah, hopefully that's going to be banging. Hopefully it's going to be a good video as well. And yeah, hopefully that's going to be a good video. I am excited to record it. We haven't done any videos for a while now. It may have been when you were MCFR since we last did a collab, I guess. Can't wait till we're back, man. I just can't wait. What about you? Yeah, I'm excited too, man. I really want it now, man. Like, a part of me is even getting sick of waiting. Like, I'm just like, come on, every day it's closer, and it's so much more painful waiting. We're 11 days away, and that still feels like ages in my mind. Despite a month ago we were without football as well. It feels like so long away, but it feels right around the corner at the same time. I don't know how to describe it, if I'm honest with you. Gosh. I don't mind this. This is like a nice little hoodie from what I can tell. But this is horrific. I actually think the worst part about this is the logo. Which is the sad part. I don't think the fade works between the blue and the green. I think you just gotta go all green. I still don't think it's great. I think you've got to go all green. I think it's such a weird design. I appreciate something different. I appreciate like you're trying to probably send some sort of message about this. It's probably for that kind of purpose. And like I get it. It's nice. It's a nice message. But I'm not the biggest fan. I think it's weird. Maybe it'll grow on me when it's on the players. That's like the only thing I can hope of. I always give kits until then. But yeah, I'm not keen. What goal line clearance. Savinio, 1 year ago today. Sullivan. Apparently he's been cooking in the academy in the spell he had. And will officially be joining the club in 2 years. That's going to be crazy. Connect. Imagine John Stones can stay fit. Man, genuinely, yeah? If I know I've been kind of saying John Stones needs to go, okay, due to his bad injury record, but if someone came to me now and said, John Stones is going to be fully fit for the entire season, you could play him every single game if you wanted to. Doesn't matter. He'll be fit. Sign me up. Because John Stones is one of the most talented players in centre-backs, probably in the world. Okay, and the Ruben Dias John Stones partnership is even better. And when that is moving like clockwork, it's even better. He is so good, and his injuries have really stubbed him a little bit in terms of not his brilliance, because his talent is there, but in terms of being looked at in a brighter light, I guess. He's such a good footballer, and I pray for a fully fit John Stones, because he goes on spells without tons of injuries. Last season was awful, but I go over to here. Let's go injury history real quick. Last season was awful for 164 days out injured. 23-24 season, still not great. Missed 53 days. Um, 59 days in treble season. Again, not awful. Good thing though about the treble season one was that it was like they weren't at like the super duper crucial parts of the season. Don't get me wrong, September to October is not great, and especially January to March, definitely not great. You would prefer to not pick up big injuries there, but it's not like this, bro. 94 days, 30 days, 22 days, 18 days. Like genuinely insane. I think this partly comes back to rushing back. Rushing back is a symptom of 5 days later, and then 8 days later, and then, to be fair, a month later for these two, but still not great. Yeah, he does go on, good runs. Like, look at 21-22. Oh, you can't look at it. He didn't get any injuries. And even 20-21 was a really good period for him. Those 2 seasons, brilliant. Didn't hardly picked up any injuries and were some of his best seasons. I don't care what anyone says. I love John Stones. Please just don't play him at all. Stay for crucial games. I think he's brilliant. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He's so good. It's just injuries, isn't it? But don't play him. Same for crucial games. Yeah, I mean, try and play him a little bit to keep him in the flow. Last thing you want is someone rusty playing, but keep him in the flow of playing. So give him a few minutes at the end of every game and whatnot, kind of stuff like that. Starting casual performances, subbing him on when we're 5-0 up with 30 minutes to go, that kind of stuff. Sub him on in those situations, and then play him in a big game at Anfield versus Liverpool or against Arsenal, or United and whatnot. Anyone says he's finished performance-wise is so dumb. I remember his Madrid at home performance in the 6th Connect. He was stunning. John Stones in the 6th he is so good. Treble season John Stones, my lord, he is unreal. We're almost back to our easy content, game preview, review, match reaction, and watch along. Yes, Alf, big ups to you, bro. Absolutely, it's just 11 days away now. Hey, well, not even that, 4 days away for the preseason at least, so, we will be there for that. Yeah, John Stones, he still brings in good performances for us, but it's just about whether his injuries, whether he can survive the injuries, man. That's the only thing I worry about for him. The talent is there, performances are there. It's just worrying his injury record. We know the 5 games we get will be worth that, so it's worth it. Yeah. I'll be milking the preseason game too. Oh yeah, bro. Here's the plan. 7th of August. Palermo analysis stream. 8th of August, Man City vs Palermo review preview. 9th of August, watch along. Match review straight after. Next day, things we learn in against Palermo, and then things Man City need to improve on the next one. After you give Yana smiles at me today. I'm telling you, bro, you're gonna be sent a City shirt soon with your name on the back. He'll put you on a humble 50 grand a week. Not nothing much, just 50 grand a week, and you'll be playing for us every week, I'm sure. But guys, big ups everyone who tuned in. Alf, this is City, Tausif on the way too. I think we had Lewis in here as well. Big ups to everyone else as well. I enjoyed this stream. Great talking about some decent news. Ruben Dias and Rodri contract extensions can only be looked at in a good light for me. And also, Phil Foden contract extension talk seems to be on the way as well. Big ups to everyone. I hope everyone's had a great day, and I hope everyone will continue to. And I will see you all on the next one. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notification bell so you don't miss my next stream. Big ups to you all, Blues. See ya.